Hello, Miss. My name is Allison Guzman, and with my partner Maria Jesus Flores, are going to show you our teacher learning need of our practice course. So I'm going to share a file with you here. So, well, we are working with the Don Bosco School from the Kike City. We have two different courses. I'm with the Segundo Medio B, and Maria Jesus is with the Séptimo Básico B. But for this work, we are going to focus on the Segundo Medio B. So this group is made up of 35 male students, of which only, I will say, 20 of them usually attend classes. And the English teacher, Miss Angelica, is the one who encourages students to attend her classes and participate continuously. So in general, we could say that these students are responsible and participatory. But despite all good, we can notice that these students have a lack of motivation for the contents and the classes as well. So the classes of English, right? So we will focus on this need, lack of motivation, and we're going to present some solution for such a problem. So first, we collect this information through the classes that we attend, right? Practice as well. We change a couple of times the classes, the courses, so that we could both see the reality of each course. And we were able to realize that older students usually felt less motivation compared to younger students. For example, segundo medio versus séptimo básico, right? So we also talk about this issue with their teacher, Miss Angelica. Miss Angelica is the teacher of English in that, the English teacher, sorry, of that school, and she explained to us that generally, high school, secondary school students tend to be less participative and tend to get bored more easily. Instead, basic students, octavo básico and below, um, are more likely to engage in any activity that one proposes to them, right? So we observed the classes, we took notes, and we conclude that the teacher and teaching learning need was lack of motivation, and that the teacher is Miss Angelica, in this case, is usually the one who speaks most frequently, almost without letting the students give their opinions on their own, right? So we also surveyed the students of the segundo medio about the motivation that they have when doing the activities and other things in the English classes and in the class in general. So this was the first instrument, the observation instrument that we implemented to recognize the needs of the students, of these particular students. And I guess so this was the first instrument that we implement um, to recognize the needs of these students, these particular students. And the objective of this first instrument is to identify the motivation that students have when doing the activities and the general things in the English classes, right? In the English classes in general. So here is the survey for the students about the motivation and participation on the English classes. We put the course and the age, not the name, because this survey was completely anonymous. We put some instruction. We thank to them for doing this survey, and we put I think 12 questions for them, and they mark with an X here, right? So we put always, almost always, sometimes, very little times, and never. So for example, we ask things such as, pongo mucho interés en lo que hacemos en la clase de inglés. Durante las clases deseo con frecuencia que no termine. Habitualmente tomo parte en las discusiones y actividades que se realizan en clase, pues siento el deseo de hacerlo. Pongo gran atención a lo que dice la profesora. En clase me siento a gusto y bien. Estoy satisfecho con las actividades académicas que se realizan en las clases. Estoy satisfecho con mi aprendizaje. ¿Piensas frecuentemente que has hecho mal las tareas? Me disgusta tener que dar mi opinión y hablar frente a mis compañeros y profesora. ¿Estudiar me resulta pesado? Yo sé que aunque me esfuerce, no entenderé muchas de las cosas que me expliquen. And finally, creo que mi motivación por participar en clases y por la clase en general no es suficiente. So, in the end, we put some comments like we wanted that the students put some comments about the class, the English class itself, and what and for example, another need they feel they have right, and yeah, for example, some examples of what sorry, no, yes, of what is missing in the class, in the English classes, right, or something like that. But not many of them put some comments in this part, and the majority of them just put out that the classes were fine, and that's all. So well, according to this information, we made a survey, a graphic of the survey of segundo medio B. We put a short description of this. The following survey was made to high school students. These revealed the level of motivation that the students feel when doing the English activities and to the class in general. So we can see that here 19% of the students, of the total of the students, choose high motivation, more than choose have a high motivation, right? Then we can see that at 23.8% of the total of students have a medium motivation, which is also worried, right? But here is the problem here, because 57.1% of this total of the students have a low motivation, which is the teacher learning need that we choose for this project, for this task.
Okay, to continue with what Allison said about the teaching learning need that we identified in the segundo medio B, we are going to show a possible solutions for that problem. It is important to remember that the need that we found in this grade was the lack of motivations in the students, and we implemented a survey for the students that we already showed. And we showed a graphic that said that most of the students have a lack of motivation during their English classes. And so now I'm going to present to you a third instrument of observation, which is a checklist with possible solutions that the teacher can implement in her class to improve this need, which is again the lack of motivations in the students in classes. Okay, as I said, now I'm going to show you a checklist with possible solutions that some methodologies that the teacher can implement in her classes to improve the learning need that hinders the active participation of students during activities. Yeah. First, the objective for this third observation instrument is to identify solutions to improve the motivation in the students of the segundo medio B. We know that real learning in class depends a lot on the teacher's ability to maintain and improve the motivation that students brought at the beginning of the course. This is said by Erickson in 1978, and that whatever level of motivation students bring, it will be changed for better or worse by what happens in the classroom. We know that many factors affect a given student's motivation for work and learning. This can be interest. Okay, as I was saying, the factors that can affect the motivation in students can be the interest that they have in a subject, the perception of its usefulness, and the student's patience between others. We have to remember also that not all students are motivated in the same way, and what it's very clear is that motivated students are a lot more receptive and learn more. And motivation has a very important influence on learning. And some changes that the teacher could do to improve the motivation in her students are support them by telling them from time to time that they can do well, and also try to create an open and positive space atmosphere in class. Okay, and now I'm going to tell you about the solutions, some methodologies that the teacher can implement in her class. first one is to set goals. It is important that the teacher has goals in her group that she expects something from the students, because it is going to motivate them to also have to create, it's going to help them to create personal goals, and this will help them to learn better. Second is use visual aids in class. Working with just the student's book is boring, is tedious, and it is going to distract students. So it is important that the teacher mixes her classes with the textbook with something more creative, something that can be more fun to the students, like slides, videos, pictures, etc. Third, encourage interaction in camaraderie in the classroom by playing games and exercises. This will help them to feel more attracted. They will have they will want to go to classes because it will be fun for them, and they will be also learning. They can work, the teacher can work with things such as Pictionaries, riddles, or friendly competitions. Fourth, know the students and their initial condition. It's important that the teacher, before the teacher knows what to give them, it's important that she knows in what level they are, and to know their abilities and strengths. Fifth is to know their learning methods. It is important to know what is best for students, because based on that, the teacher can base her classes. Sixth is to try to individualize the teaching as much as possible. This will make the students feel some affection from the teacher. They will feel that the teacher cares about what they learn and how they are doing. Seventh is to try to vary teaching methods. It's good for the students that the teacher not always works with the same thing, with the same structures. It's important that the teacher implements vary with the learning skills, with the English skills. And last, to treat students with respect and trust. It's good for the students to know that the teacher respect them, and they feel a connection with the teacher, so they can tell her what is going on, if it is not working, and it's also good that the teacher always comments comments how they are doing, if they're doing well, if they're not doing not so well, but it's important to always do it with respect. And that was everything. And to finish, I want to say that some people could say that for us, that the job of teaching could be just focus on teaching, but perhaps it would be better to say that it is the learning of the students that is all we care about, and that is why we start studying something like this. And thank you very much, and see you.